Time is approaching.
Little pound cake. He will be undertaking his polar blast punishment in about a half an hour. I have set aside the 5:20 and 5:50 segments, the last two of the show, last two of the week. Of course, the Bill Squire Friday Get Down.
Oh, yeah.
Will be in there as well. So that'll give Poundcake a bit of a reprieve. And we might not even need both of those segments. I wanted to give Poundcake his due. I wanted to make sure that he had enough of the focus so we can keep an eye on him when he consumes this Carolina Reaper pepper, thereby completing this year's round of Polar Blast punishments.
In record time.
In record time, yeah. Usually, I mean, years past, we've taken a couple of months before we got to them because they were kind of
sometimes they
convoluted or complex, or they needed a lot more setup.
Yeah.
So that'll be that for another year. Of course, Mary's team, Snow Babies,
Undefeated.
were the winners this year.
Well, you got defeated once.
Nope, I wasn't in it last year.
I know, but you were. I mean, you were.
I was on Barry White's team, and then we only had three team members.
Yeah.
She did promise us that she would be insufferable. And boy, you have lived up to your promise.
I don't think I've been that bad.
No, you haven't been that bad, actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that you could...
I'm giggly about it. I'm not rubbing it in your faces.
Monday on the show, Adam Carolla will be back on. We'll talk to him. He's doing a one-nighter at Hilarities next week. He's doing 2 shows on Thursday. And then our friend Jim Tews, very funny guy. He's got a new album coming out. He's an Alan Cox Show Comedy Tour alum. He is going to be doing shows on Wednesday and Friday at Hilarities, so he'll be in here later next week. I'll have those Rolling Stones tickets for you next week, too. They have announced June 19th at First Energy Stadium. I'll have tickets for that Korn and Faith No More thing out at Blossom in September. And if you want to join us for this year's Cleveland St. Patty's Day 5K, I can register you for that as well. If you just, because we run, a few of us run, Doogie and Mary and I will run, and then we do a little bar crawl. So it's on March 7th, and it's going to be at night this time. The run is at 5 p.m., and then we'll do the bar crawl after. So we'll hook up with the rest of the RMG crew, and St. Patty's Day is when we all kind of get to hang out, which I like. But the schedule of the bars and everything else, if you want to register to run or just find out what's going down and come hang with us, go to alancockshow.com and hit the contest tab. Hey, Kelly.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Kelly?
Alan, hate the show.
Thank you.
So, you guys were talking about pooping earlier at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to work for a specific tree service. We'd trim trees for power lines. We wouldn't have access to a bathroom, so we would go in the back of the truck, and we'd have to go to the bathroom in the back of the truck, like a kitty cat.
On the back of the truck?
In sand?
It was like a big box truck where you feed the wood into the chipper, and it puts all the chips in the back of the truck.
Yeah, you didn't run the turds through the chipper, did you?
Absolutely not.
And spraying out the other side. Ugh.
Like Fargo, but brown?
Ugh.
Oh, boy.
But if you couldn't hold it, you have to tell the guys running the chipper, hey, I got a poo. So you crawl up in the back of the truck into all the wood chips, hold up one of the road signs like a shield. You squat down, assume the position, you do your business.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's occupational hazard. Like it's battle conditions. You got to figure it out.
Right.
I understand.
You cover it up. You scratch over it like a kitty cat. You get out. All is good.
And it's mulch, so it already smells awful. Yeah. It's not going to smell worse.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean,
it
I
could
would
smell
never
worse.
buy mulch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, good. I like that entrepreneurial spirit that Kelly's got. Thank you, Kelly. Al and I tried to make a joke about extra virgin olive oil one time when I was high, and I went to bed thinking, finally, I can attempt to do stand-up. I woke up and reread it and decided maybe I shouldn't do that.
I've had that happen so many times. I'll look at notes because typically I'm high alone in a hotel room. It's usually where I do my edible eating. And I'll look at something. I'll look at something and I'm like, what are you talking about, Mayor?
You know what I'm really afraid of that, like, crosses my mind all the time? I'm afraid of getting really, really bad news right after I've just taken an edible.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
Because you're like, whenever I get to the important place I need to be is right when it's going to kick in.
oh my God, there's nothing worse than like, I don't know, like I don't want to say like a death or anything because that's really, really intense. That would be intense even if you didn't take an edible. But say, I don't know,
Like-
some you got hacked. Like your account got hacked and someone stole your money.
Like you lost all your, and you're sitting there and you're like, well, I can't even deal with this.
Right,
right now.
exactly.
Like this.
you take your edible, and then you're like, okay, I took my edible. I'm gonna get my food ordered. You go and try to order your food, but it doesn't go through. You're
Yeah.
like, why isn't it going through? And then you find out that you were hacked and you have no money in
And
your
it's like,
account. And this takes about 20, 30 minutes for you to figure out what's going on, and then boom.
That's when it happens.
Or you
It
have to
drops.
you're on the phone with someone and you have to verify something, and you're like, ma'am, I'm gonna be really honest with you. I can't verify anything. I'm high. Like
Or they'll ask you a question. They'll be like, "What was the name of your first pet?" And you're like, "Dude, I don't even remember what kind of
that
pet
is
I had."
exactly why.
I didn't know I had a. I can only verify that I'm high as a kite right
Like
now.
I remember I put it.
Smoke weed every day.
Like I couldn't imagine actually like filling out an application or something or like paying a bill high because like when I do my hours for this show, I'm like, all right. So
What did I get here at?
No, I put it in. I was like 2 a.m. I left at 6:30 a.m. I'm like, wait a minute, how did I get like 27 hours in just like 2 days?
Working the night shift.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. So it seems like impossible. So I can't imagine getting like terrible news while you take an edible because you just have to ride it out and be like, I need 4 hours of buffer.
I had that
at
happen to
least.
me. Not terrible news one time though. I was like just starting to get high. I was just hanging out at home. I had a night off, and my friend called me in like a panic, like hysterical, crying, screaming. She and her boyfriend had just gotten into a huge fight. And she's like, "I need you to come get me." And I was
Right.
like, so. But you're sitting there in that moment where you're like, I either try to pull it together and be there for her and act like I'm not high right now. I was like, but I told her, I was like, if you can Uber to my house, you can be here, but I cannot drive my car right now. Like, there's no way.
Exactly.
I can get, she lived like 30 minutes away. I was like, there's no way I can get to the other side
And
of town.
then everyone else is like, oh, well, you have a problem. When I needed you, you couldn't be there because you were getting stoned, Mary.
Yeah, right. That one time where
One
it just
time,
happened
yeah.
to work out that way.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, there is that moment where you're like, can I do this? Can I? No, you can come here and we can have snacks, but I can't. I cannot get to you right
Well,
now.
and somebody who didn't know the situation might think that you were extraordinarily centered when you got the bad news too.
Yeah.
They're like, "Wow, this cat is really chill."
Just taking a couple deep breaths.
Yeah, your aunt and uncle were just murdered by a chainsaw in a moving car. Oh, well, can I call you back?
Man,
Wow, she's really
Yeah.
chill about this.
That's why
how'd they get the chainsaw in the car?
I thought there was going to be some scream. Was the chainsaw driving the car? Like, who was? They were in the back seat? What the hell happened?
I'm really cautious about taking edibles. Like, I have to be in a great
The
state
last
of
time
mind.
you text me like 3 hours before, and you're like, "Here's my plan for tonight." And I was like,
I
got you.
told you.
And I timed it out. I said, "This is exactly what you're gonna feel at every
and
single
you guys
time.
wonder
Here's how
why
you do it."
I have an obsessive personality. Like, I always think people are out to get me, and I want...
Annoying is what you're trying to say.
That's not an
Stop.
obsessive
No.
personality. That's narcissism.
Paranoid.
It's not narcissism.
It is. You
I-
think everyone's out to get you.
No, it's not like that. Even when I do something to myself as such like eating an edible, I want someone to know, like, listen, if you don't get a response to me by this time, I'm dead. You need to send the squad. Why do you think I'm obsessing over this pepper? This isn't anything out of the ordinary. It's not like I've done it just for this punishment.
You're a paranoid high, is what you're saying.
He's a paranoid person.
I'm a paranoid person. High just intensifies it. It just
Right.
makes me feel good.
I don't know. I'm curious why you're a paranoid person. Why are you glass half empty?
Well, my mom
Because he
has
thinks
made
people
me...
are just.
Because by all accounts, you've
It's
had
petty.
a pretty good life, right?
I've been sheltered.
But sheltered doesn't account for being glass half full. I mean, you were sheltered as a child. You haven't been sheltered for a while. You're a 27-year-old man. So the sheltering ended a while ago. We were all, to some degree, I think, sheltered as children. Some more than others, or less. Some less than others.
Yeah.
But I mean, anyone who came up in any kind of religious background is sheltered in a very specific
Yeah,
way.
that's true.
I'll give you an instance. Just a little slice of why I am the way I am. My mother, I love her to death, but she has always instilled in me, like, she's like, a mom always knows, and she was like, I know my kids better than anybody. And I'm not going to say she brainwashed us, but she made us think a certain way, that she was always right. So whenever she says
Because she's codependent on you
but
guys.
there was one incident in particular happened to my brother. It was Christmas night, and he wanted to go out to. We had done Christmas already; it was fine. But he wanted to hang out with his friends because apparently Christmas night is a big club night. And she was like, "Don't do that. I have a bad feeling you're gonna get into a crash." And he was like, "Man, I ain't about to get into a crash. I'm fine." And she was like, "I just have a bad feeling if you go out there, something bad's gonna happen. Don't go." So my brother doesn't listen to my mom, and she's like, I don't know. She's like, I just had this feeling in my stomach. My brother goes out. His friends, they end up in a drive-by. They got in a drive-by, and his friend got shot in the neck. He lived, and he was like...
Your brother was in the car?
My brother was driving the car. It was his car.
Driving the car.
And his car got shot up. They left the club. Apparently, like... people in the club didn't like them, or they said something to the wrong person, and they pulled up on him and bloop, 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 and shot him. And his friend survived, but ever since then, I'm like, oh my gosh, she called it. She called the omen. Like she said that. She said something bad was gonna happen. So I was like, do I really want to test my luck on that?
You know what?
How do you know she wasn't the shooter?
Because she was at home with me. I was home that night.
He comes home, she's like wiping off her hands.
This was like 10 years ago. It was like Christmas of 2008. This happened.
I'll back you up on this only because my mom will do this stuff kind of, and it rubbed off on me a lot more when I was younger.
If it didn't work, I wouldn't believe it. But it has happened a couple times.
What I'm saying is, if somebody, though, is negative all the time, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Right.
And
If you're
also-
negative all the time and think something's always going to happen, eventually, coincidentally, something will happen. It doesn't mean you have a sixth sense.
What I was going to say is that my mom will call me still to this day and be like, hey, I have a weird feeling. What are you doing? Are you okay? Where are you? Is everything fine? And I'll just be like, laying in bed. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting ready to go to a show or something. Like, she's like, okay, I just got a really weird feeling. Please be careful. I'm like she does that.
And it ruins my night.
It really does,
I'm
because
on
then
edge
you're
the
like,
entire...
you're kind of looking around and you're like, what did you have a bad feeling about? Like what's going to happen?
She
Like,
is the
I
reason.
do get that, though.
And I know it's out of love. I know she loves me. She doesn't want anything to happen to me. But, like, I don't need you telling me how terrible the roads are. And do you know how many accidents are on the road right now? You should not be driving home, or you should not be going out. I'm like, I have to live my life.
But your brother didn't get into an accident.
She said...
drive by.
She said he get into an accident.
She said, I have a bad feeling. She's like, you might be getting into an accident or something. She's like, something bad is going to happen if you go out tonight.
You're right. No
Yeah, but he
drive-bys
was
or
fine.
accidents.
He was fine,
But
but like
okay,
something
you're
bad still
downplaying
happened.
it hard. Stop it right
By the
now.
way, Mike in Parma with a very good observation. Pretty soon, Poundcake is going to be ass half empty after eating Miss Pepper.
Also, did you know the person that he was hanging out with is this? Did they get into trouble pretty regularly together?
No.
This is like a wrong place, wrong time kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I just don't.
It was the...
I do like his drive-by gun sounds, though. What were they again? Bloop, bloop, bloop. bloop,
Yes,
bloop,
it was a bloop, bloop, bloop. Blah, blah.
bloop, bloop, bloop.
Sounds like a video game.
Yeah.
Collecting coins.
And then all the muzzles are out the window. They drove by. It was like beep, 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 boo, boo, boo.
Pew pew.
Yeah.
But no,
It was a gang from the future.
Like, I care about my mom's opinion. Like I love my mom.
There's a problem.
So when she says things like that, I like she scares me.
Because you let it.
You want to
I want to honor my mom.
right. You want to humor her, but then it gets in your head.
Yes,
But your mom doesn't have any sixth sense. She's just worried about you like a mom would be.
yeah.
She doesn't have any. She's not vibing with the universe.
But when
I mean,
your mom tells you, like, listen, I want you to like not go out tonight, you feel bad when you like, well, mom, I'm going out tonight. Like, I don't care what you say. Like, why would she say that?
Why would she still have jurisdiction over your life at this point?
why would she not
doesn't-
want you?
she hasn't done it in a while,
But why
but-
would she not want you to go out because she felt weird?
Well, she'll
It'd be
mainly
like
say,
if you told her, "Mom, I don't want you to go to work today. I feel like something weird's going to happen." She'd be like, "Shut up! I
Give me
got
the
bills to
Carolina
pay."
Reaper.
Yeah, I got. Again, I don't know why your mom sounds like that.
Oh my
but
gosh.
Don't go to Walmart. They might be out of Walmart chickens.
They might be out of chickens. I got a bad feeling that they're
My
going to be out
mom-
of broaster chickens.
I'm on his. I mean, I've experienced this too. My mom's done this. I'm wondering if it's a religion thing. Your mom's religious, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's like they think God's talking to them because they have conversations with Jesus.
My
so
mom's
they're like,
incredibly religious. I just don't give her this kind of power over me.
She
Okay.
doesn't have power over me. I end up doing what I want, but it's something
But you still have
hanging
that
over
guilt
my.
hanging
Yeah.
over
I
you.
do have
Right.
guilt.
And
I
that's
have
the
guilt.
power.
But that's not power because
Yes.
I'm not listening to it.
Yes, it's still in your head, so it's still
You're still
there.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. Well,
I'm
I'm
not
guilty
saying
of
it's
thinking
changing
about
the way you act,
You've
but it's
also
changing the way you think about yourself.
But
You've also completely cut yourself off from that entire part of your life where he and I still have a little bit dingling around in there. So it's not necessarily that we're giving our parents power. It's that we kind of still believe in that
And
kind
the thing
of stuff.
is, she's not always wrong. There are some nights where it is really snowy out, it's really ice out. I probably don't have to go out tonight, but bitch, I want to. And she will make me feel bad about it. She's like, is really getting drunk or hanging with some
Is it
boy?
worth it?
Is it worth it when you could be on the side of the road and I have to identify your body? Like, is it worth it?
One of your little snap claws. Is it worth drinking? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right,
Mom?
but
It's like,
again,
don't you want to save your money for
again,
something you want?
sooner or later, every parent has to go, okay, this isn't about me anymore. Because what the parent is telling you is,
Be careful.
well, no. She's saying, this is about me.
I'm
is what she's saying.
uncomfortable.
This is about me. That's
Okay,
right.
well, I don't like
want
my mom-
you to do this because this is about me.
I don't like my mom being uncomfortable.
Speaking
I
of
understand.
that, here, kind of on this topic, how old is a child to be left alone for a couple hours?
3 months.
Okay, I like that. That's pretty easy.
What's the wait?
How old should a kid be to be left alone?
In a house by themselves.
No
How
clue.
long?
Everybody's got
3
different
hours.
opinions on
I think
it.
it also depends very much on the child.
3 hours. Okay, that's fine.
I
Regular,
think-
normal,
I
nothing.
think there's kids that I would be just fine leaving alone at like 10 years old for 3 hours. And then there's kids that there's not one chance I would let them be alone, and they could be like 15.
12.
Yeah.
My niece is 12. My brother isn't coming to my show tonight because he doesn't have a sitter. And I was like, she's 12. You can leave a 12-year-old alone for a
I'm the
couple
wrong
hours.
guy to ask. I can't remember how old I was when we got left home alone, but
We
I
were
bet it
left
was
alone all the time. Way
and-
too young.
And some people were.
I was 7 watching my 3-year-old sister.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
12 's
I mean,
fine.
like, that's what I thought,
Yeah,
too.
that's
He's
fine.
like, we don't have a sitter. I'm like, she's 12.
I'm
She's
probably
in 7th grade.
I'm probably overly cautious. That would just make me
Like,
nervous.
my daughter was babysitting at 12.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, even like I would watch the neighbor kid. We've gotten into this argument on the show before, but I was like, she's not in charge of anybody else. I feel like, hey, stay at home, play on your whatever, your Kindle, watch a movie, whatever you got to do. We're gonna be back in a couple hours.
And a girl, I feel like, is more responsible. Even
She's not even
12-year-old
playing
boy,
with fire or
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
She's not trying to cook. Like,
I mean, we're playing with fire and stuff anyway. So, like, if there's a baby, like,
she's not babysitting.
yeah,
This is just
I'm
by
saying, but,
herself.
like,
Yeah.
If we had a babysitter, like, we would still be just as bad. If not, we would almost be worse if we had a babysitter because we would act up for the babysitter.
Purposely
Yeah.
for her. It's almost like a substitute teacher.
Mm-hmm.
My mom doesn't even know this, but I almost accidentally caught the house on fire one time when she was not home.
Did she
You're
have a
home alone?
premonition? She didn't know. She's gonna call right now. I knew. I had a feeling about it.
No, she didn't know, but I was really into like oil scents when I was a kid. Like, so I had like a
Into what?
like you pour oil into like a little
okay.
Like a
Like the
diffuser?
diffuser, yeah.
Yeah, I would pour oil into this tray, and then you have like
Essential oils.
a little candle underneath it. Well, I thought it would be fun. I was like, oh, well, it's like a little bonfire, so I could put little pieces of paper on top of the little plate and see what happens.
Yes, you're the kid that you can't leave home alone.
Oh my
Right.
God! Like I didn't realize. I was like, oh, this is a really big flame.
You'd be a kid that I would not leave home because,
So
like, you can tell the kid that doesn't understand the consequence of their actions.
But
Yeah.
she didn't know, and no one knew. Luckily, I got it to the point where I was like, okay, I can just put this in the corner of my room, and I just doused some water on it, and it was like it just went up, but then it went out. So I was like,
I
okay,
like
great.
being left alone, so I would be good just so I could continue to be left alone.
yeah. I just thought 12 was plenty old enough to be home alone for a few hours.
I mean, I remember being young and looking over my brother,
yeah.
but I don't remember how old I was. I mean, we still, my daughter's 4, and that, obviously it's different than 12, but she's still never had a babysitter.
What about your like older kids? Would you leave them home at 16 and 14? I mean, that's old.
I've been gone.
16-year-olds
I haven't lived
are
with them in
driven.
a long time.
Yeah,
so-
driving. I guess that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
You can drive, but you can't be home alone.
Yeah, you're not leaving them home like maybe for a weekend, but
No, for a couple
For a
hours.
couple hours,
Because I thought that was weird. My brother texted me. He's like, I can't come to your show tonight. We don't have a sitter. And I was like, she's in 7th grade.
I'm with your brother.
Really? A 12-year-old.
And I will cop to being overly cautious. I don't know. It makes me nervous. I don't know.
I feel like when I was 12, I was watching my 1-year-old nephew.
Yeah, probably
alone
so.
in Euclid.
There's like 13-year-old,
Yeah.
like friends of ours are like, hey, by the way, my daughter is babysitting now, and she's 13.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I don't think they're gonna do me dirty
Well,
if they think she can do it.
4 too, though, so she's not at the age of like putting dumb stuff in her mouth, right? Like they know a little bit better by that age than.
But she's a Tasmanian
1-year-old.
devil. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Gwen and I might be upstairs, and she'll be downstairs watching a cartoon or something, and she's in this whole, like, I want privacy phase. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want us in the room. I'm going down there every 5 minutes to make sure
Just to
she's
look?
okay.
Really?
Yeah. To make sure like, if I don't hear anything, I'm like, I'm gonna
Something's
nervous,
wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
not even. I just want to make sure she's not eating something and choking. I'm overly cautious, and I don't know why.
all right, I think she's old enough now that you can trust her, so I would just take home the extra Carolina Reaper that we have.
Yeah,
and just
see how she
put it with her
does.
toys, and just, it'll be fine.
She'll be great.
It's not gonna kill you. No, it's not going to kill you.
But we'll know in 9 minutes, won't we?
I'm so excited.
Okay, so I'm going to break. I'm going to have those weekend passes for you for Sonic Temple. Except, how can I get... Well, we'll give those away, and then we'll do his thing, okay? We'll get the winner for Sonic Temple. And tell you what, let me do Sonic Temple tickets now.
There you go.
Okay, so we can get that out of the way. Sonic Temple is mid-May, back down in Columbus at Mapfre Stadium. I've got the 3-day weekend passes for you, Metallica and Slipknot and Disturbed and tons of bands, okay? So if you want these, you want to be caller 13. And then we'll come back and we'll take... I've cleared the last 2 segments of the show for